in a small town down in Arkansas, where the river flows. There's a man with a passion that everybody knows. He's got a collection that'll make you stare. Vintage pocket knives laid with tender care.
Howdy, howdy, everybody. Welcome once again to HT's EDC. Coming at you from the living room, once again in the easy chair this morning. We have Miss Abby right here at my feet. And actually, I don't know if you can see over there in that little cage right there by the fireplace. Walking around in there a little bit. There's a little bit. So we are all camped out this morning here in the living room. And decided to get on here and throw up a video this morning. I almost did not make this video today, I'll be honest with you. I got to, I'm a little, what's the word I want to use? Ashamed. For lack of a better word, that might not be the best word, but that's the word, that's the one we're going with. I'm a little bit ashamed because I had to refocus a little bit. I kind of had a tougher night last night. Not a bad night. I'm not saying that to, boo-hoo, woe with me. That's just part of rehab. Anybody that's been through a surgery gets that. You can't, your sleep gets all cattywampus and you're up and you're down. Well, anyway, I was up late last night, and so I'm up late this morning, finally getting up, stirring after going to bed real late, and I'm like, I'm not going to, and I'm fine now. I woke up and I'm feeling pretty good, but I was like, I'm not going to make no video today. I looked at my watch, I'm like, you're 2 hours or so from when when normally you put out your videos. Nobody's going to watch it. And that's what made me pause. I thought about, well, that and something one of our brothers the other day said. And Chuck, my brother Chuck, you said something the other day that resonated with me, and it resonated. It's kind of funny how some things will pop back up, and you'll hear something days ago, but it was meant for you like today. If you guys get that, you get it. But at the time, you kind of halfway gloss over and you think, that's pretty good. But later on, you really need, you really think about and you really need what somebody says. Well, he said something the other day at one of the end of his videos, and I don't say this to embarrass you, Chuck, but brother, it resonated with me. Then it resonated with me when you said it. I was like, wow. But it really hit home this morning. I actually put it to use. He's like, he's a new channel. Chuck is a new channel, a great channel. I absolutely love Chuck. I think he is a Briar Patch Blades. I keep talking about Chuck because we're friends, first name basis. Briar Patch Blades. If you hadn't went and checked out that new channel, you are doing yourself a disservice. If you like mine, if you like channels like me, you will 1000% like Chuck's, because we are very like-minded. But anyway, Briar Patch Blades, get over there. But Brother Chuck, now I can get back to calling you Chuck. Brother Chuck said something the other day. He's like, I'm a new channel. And he was talking about all these new channels like Bubba's EDC, Nate Green up there with Green's Blade Revivals, just to name a few. And I shouldn't have named them because somebody's going to feel slighted. I didn't say their new channel. But those are two that just come to my head right now that I think are going to kill it. They have something to say. They have a great message. And he said something at the end of his video, and I know I'm babbling. I'm going to get there. He's like, as many of these new channels that come out there, that come out on the horizon almost daily, weekly, if not daily. We're getting new content, good content, younger content, I think it is awesome. Another thing, I'm getting on another sidebar, but how young people, a younger generation, are getting into traditional knives. 10 years ago, that was not a thing. I'm here to tell you, if it didn't flick or flop out or have the new fidgety locking system, young people weren't in it. And I know there's exceptions to the rule, but in general, 10 years ago, we weren't where it's at. Traditional knives wasn't what it's at for up and coming, somebody, a knife enthusiast, a young knife enthusiast. And that has changed. We are getting youth in here, which is longevity, folks. That is longevity of our community. All of us, the older hands, aren't going to be around forever. Hopefully we're, not throwing dirt on my coffin or anybody else's, but we're not going to be around forever. But it's just like in a good growing church. You need your elders. You need that wisdom. You need tears. You need them elders, that wisdom in the church, that leadership. Then you need your middle-aged people, and then you need those youth. And if any one of those, if you don't have some of all that in a church, it tends to go stagnant. Well, that'll be the same thing in our knife community. Honestly, it kind of has been that way in the knife community. Like I say, 10 years ago, it was all the old hats. We loved them. We kept it going, and praise God for it. We kept putting it out. Well, not we, because I wasn't in it. So I'm talking like I was part of that 10 years ago. Those elder statesmen were putting it out, doing the YouTube channels, and anyway, it exploded. Some of the, don't know, not sure why, but the youth, the younger generation took to it. And anyway, I think traditional pocket knives are in a far, far better place now. And we have young content creators that are on the up. And anyway, again, totally got off topic. But Chuck was talking about there is so much content out there now. And he said something that was so selfless. And he's like, if you get to the point, there's so much, there's a message out there. If you're wanting to, these new guys are coming on the scene and you're wanting to see this new content, this fresh content, stop watching me. Because at the end of the day, there's only so much time you can sit around. I am disabled. I've got a lot more time than most. But if you have a wife, a family, you work a job, you can't sit home and watch. The math doesn't work, folks. You don't have 8 hours to sit down and watch 100 YouTube channels. And I'm talking to you guys real. You just don't. I'm telling you, you don't. And I have more time than probably most of you. You do not have time to watch every channel out there. You have to make some decisions. Watch some this day, watch some another day. Trim the fat. Hey, this just doesn't resonate for me. And I'm going to be honest with you. This might not be unpopular, but I think I'm being real with you. And if I suffer for this, oh well. You can't watch everybody. And Chuck said something like that's resounded with me. And he's like, cut me out. Watch these young guys. Those cats have something to say. They're going places. They have a message. And I know you can't watch it all. By far, stop watching me. I give you permission. Watch these other guys. Promote these other guys. And I was just taken aback. I was taken back. And I was like, you know what? You used to be that guy. And I got up this morning. I'm thinking to myself, all in my thoughts and in my feelings, like, man, I ain't going to get up and do no video this morning because, shoot, I done missed my window. Ain't nobody going to watch it. Who cares? What are you doing? And it made me think, what are you doing this for, HD? Are you doing this for the love, like you used to? The love of pocket knives, and to interact? it should not matter. My point, it shouldn't matter if 10 of you guys watch this video, or 500 of you watch this video. And it used to not. And I found myself getting into that trap, looking at my watch. Oh, it's 8:30 in the morning. I should have had a video out 6:30. Nobody's going to watch it. And what are you doing? What are you doing? Who are you becoming? It's so easy. My point is, it's so easy to get caught up in the rat race. And so am I competing? What am I doing? Yeah, I'm not going to get as many views. As many views as who? The guy over there, the guy that started at 6:30, the guy that's probably better than you, has better content than you already. Who are you competing with? Anyway, Brother Chuck, you kind of recharged my battery. You reset my thinking. And don't get me wrong, folks. I love it when I see more than 10. We're humans, when people watch our videos. If I have a bad video, don't get much, I'm like, what am I doing? Well, that must not have been good content. But at the end of the day, what are you doing it for? What are you doing it for? I'm doing it for the love of pocket knives. I'm supposed to be doing it for the brotherhood, interaction with some like-minded folks that share a great passion. But anyway, thank you, Chuck, for I'm making this video. Probably everybody's done turned off because I ain't showed a pocket knife and all I've done is babble. And I wouldn't blame you for it. But that resonated with me, and I'm the same way. I babble. I don't have great content over here. Cut me out. I want to be part of that fraternity, just like Chuck. Promote these new guys. Promote these newer channels, these great channels. And you got to focus. You got to focus on why you're doing it. Why am I standing in front of this camera? Am I doing it for clicks or likes? Or am I truly doing it for passion and camaraderie? And you sometimes got to self-assess. And you made me do that this morning, Chuck. So thank you for that, brother. That being said, good Lord Almighty, what is it, 12 minutes? We're going to show a pocket knife. I'm sorry for all that. That was on my heart. So, is what it is. Got a package in, and this has been a few weeks ago now. Like I said, I've got a lot since being off for the week of deer hunting and my surgery. There's been a lot that's came in, and this is one that has been near and dear to my heart, and I've been chomping at the bit to get on here and talk about. I got a nice, lovely letter from one of our solid folks, Brother Ronald. I won't say your last name. You're going to see the knife. He's a regular follower. I don't want to embarrass him, but Brother Ronald wrote me a great note. He knows my little quest I'm on for self-imposed quest that I am trying to get every U.S.-made, U.S.-manufactured folding hunter. That is my pattern. Herd them up, loving them biggins. That's what we do here on this channel. I am a folding hunter slash hunter style knife, lockback, what have you, big knife guy, and he knows that. And he had a knife in his collection that he knew or doubted that I had. It was kind of an obscure little maker. He knew that would be one that would be tougher for me to track down. Not a whole lot of them, not a whole lot of people. They fall off the radar. I didn't even hardly know about them. Before he reached out to me, I had just heard about this knife. But anyway, he reached out to me and said he'd like to send it to me. It was just sitting around his collection. He didn't have any kind of connection to it, deep-rooted connection, and felt that it belonged in my collection and wanted to help me out with it. And this is it. He sent it on. And this, if we can get that to focus, is the Chicago Cutlery P19 Folding Hunter. Back it up a little bit there. And check out that beautiful wood. I believe this is walnut. I believe it's walnut. Don't quote me on that, but I believe it is. Looks kind of like walnut grain to me, but it is definitely, if you can see the grains in it. This is not laminate. This is 100% a hardwood. Beautiful grains in it. And again, I believe it's walnut, but anyway, matter of fact, I had that upside down. You can read it better there. P19 Chicago Cutlery. And there is no tank stamp on this one. I was told by one of my other followers, he gave me a tip like, HT, when you show those tank stamps, hold them just a little bit longer. So I got you, Brother Dan. But on this one, there is no tang stamps. This is actually all the writing that's on these knives. And doing my little history on these, these were made by Schrade. They were made under contract. Chicago Cutlery reached out and had Schrade USA make these for them. So this is a contract knife for Chicago Cutlery, the P19. They're calling it the P19 Folding Hunter. But these were made at the old Ellenville, New York plant, Schrade plant. So this is technically a Schrade manufactured knife, but made for Chicago Cutlery. And let's go ahead and get this thing kind of opened up. Got a lot of the usual suspects. Now, since this has came in, I've loved on it a little. We've put some oil. It was a little dry on these wood scales. We've oiled those. Even put a little more on it this morning. Kind of put its best foot forward here for the video. But we have polished up all these brass liners. Got everything shiny. Nice and tight there, if you can see along those back springs and liners. No gaps. Polished up the bolsters. And man, this thing is, and Brother Ronald said I don't even know if he ever used this or whatever. And if he did, it was very lightly. Looked like there might have been a little usage on this blade, but minimal, if even at all. Not even sure. But it is darn near mint condition. And Brother Ronald, thank you so much for this, buddy. And you guys know what a folding hunter, if you've watched my videos more than 5 videos deep, you've seen a folding hunter. And newsflash, there's a lot more coming. We love folding hunters over here. Brother Chuck talked about it the other day in his video. It is probably his favorite knife pattern. Well, I can up that ante. It is not probably over here. It is 100% my favorite pattern. And if you guys don't know, if you're just checking into my channel, I talked about that little quest I'm on. I am on a quest to get every US made folding hunter, at least one, from every manufacturer, United States, USA manufacturer that's ever put out a folding hunter. And it may take me the rest of my life. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun ride. Stuff like this pops up, you know, a P19 from Chicago Cutlery. I'm gonna guess a lot of you have never even heard of that Chicago Cutlery made a folding hunter. I didn't for the longest, but these little obscure ones pop up all the time. Of course, I've got Schrade already, Buck. Now, luckily, finally, got Camillus. Old timer, you know, the main candidates you think of when you think of USA manufacturers. I've got most of those, and now it's these little mom and pop, these little smaller kind of one-off companies that have made a folding hunter, and I may be, or historical ones that's closed. Historical companies that used to make folding hunters that are not now long out of the business. Those are the ones I'm after now, or these little obscure ones that pop up. Hey, did you know that Chicago Cutlery made a folding hunter? No, I didn't. Well, okay, now the chase is on. So anyway, it is probably going to be a quest, years in the making, but one I self-imposed, and I think it's going to be very fun. I love these things. I'm passionate about them. I think they are just the most beautiful traditional pocket knife there is. The lines of them, and some of you might say, why? I love a big hand-filling knife, and I just think the lines of this pocket knife is just absolutely beautiful. The Skinner blade versus this nice clip point. In this case, that's kind of I was going to call that a saber grind, but I believe that is a little bit of a hollow ground, about a 2/3 height hollow grind on this clip point here. Some of these are saber, some of them are flat grind. There's just depends on the manufacturer what grind they put on them. But looks like this one is not a real thin, but kind of seems like this might be a little bit of a hollow grind on this clip point. And then here, when you come to this Skinner blade, it is definitely just a regular flat grind. But I love them. Take you through a little snap here. Very nice. Very nice. Centering. Yep, we are pretty centered there. Check it out. We get that to focus. I have absolutely not one bad thing to say about this. This is awesome. Thank you, Ronald, for this. Again, the P19 Chicago Cutlery folding hunter, 2-blade folding hunter. And again, this was made under contract by good old Schrade up in New York, at the New York plant at the time. Beautiful, 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 beautiful wood scale covers, wood covers on this. Just gorgeous. And awesome note he wrote explaining what went into gifting this to me. And this is just as important to me as this is, Ronald. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for that. And not that it matters. I'm not trying to be, I sent something Ronald's way too. I couldn't just let that stand. I'm sure I didn't keep up with this, but we had to send him something back his way that I hope he enjoyed. Couldn't let him get away with doing that without doing something. But anyway. No, I did a lot of rambling this morning. I know, again, I just had to reset the mind today. And I thank Chuck for that. Just something he said off the cuff the other day. He probably didn't think about it whatsoever. That days later resonated with me. I'm sitting around here all in my feelings. Should I make a video? Ain't nobody gonna watch it. I'm running late. I might as well not even do it. And it just makes you think, what are you doing it for? What are you doing this for? And put me right back into perspective. And let me throw my name in that hat too. Just like he said, get out there and support those new guys, those up-and-comers, especially, and I'm not trying to be, I try to keep religion. I try not to get... how do I want to put that? I'm not ashamed of the gospel. I am a Christian. I am a God-fearing, God-believing man. But I try not to just cram that down people's throats in my videos. I try not to. But some of these guys, they have messages. And you folks out there, you like-minded folks, you know what I mean by a message, they do way better with that than I ever would. That I don't need to be trying. Number one, they do a good job with that, and I just want to be. I want to be just throw my nickel in the well too, just like Chuck did. If you get to the point that you are struggling to keep up with all these channels as they pop up and these new channels, you have my permission. Cut me out. Watch them, because they are your future for this. If you want to see this stuff on the rise 10 years, 20 years, when all of us graybeards are long and gone, long gone, support those guys now. So anyway, we love you. Sorry it was long-winded. Sorry I got on my soapbox, but I needed that, Chuck. I needed that focus, that refocus, and hope y'all enjoyed the pocket knife once I got around to it. But we love you. For Miss Abby, who is sacked out over here, and a little bit, yeah, they're both sacked out in here. We're going to get out of here. God bless. We'll see you on the next one. HT out.
Buck knives gleaming under that old porch light. He'll tell their stories deep into the night. Reviews and torture tests, it's a sight to see. HT's EDC.